Hello, everyone. It's me, Xeno, and I'm in the Chantry's basement again. They don't want me up there for some reason, for now at least. And yeah, this is the sixth episode of Chantry Lectures. I'm again testing new setup here, so I hope it's good. But yeah, sixth episode. And today's topic is a gruesome one, a very disturbing and controversial, perhaps, maybe, in a sorcerer's kindred society. Mainly blood brothers. A quick thing before we begin this lecture: if you want to support my work so I can make more videos like this and make them even better with editing and stuff, you can support my work by buying me a coffee. I don't really drink coffee, but that's how people say it, I think. There is a link to our team's Soupy page where you can donate a small amount of money to, well, support us or just let us know that you appreciate and like our content. I would appreciate any kind of support, really, so I can just focus on doing this for you guys because I love doing this. And yeah, let's continue on the topic of this episode. So yeah, and yeah, so today I'm talking about a bloodline known to very few kindred outside of the Sabbat, known as Blood Brothers. So let's start. What, who, or what? Well, who are Blood Brothers? Well, similar to gargoyles, Blood Brothers are an artificial bloodline created by sorcerers from Sabbat. So vampire sorcerers, mainly the Tremere anti-tribu that are now extinct, mostly, and Zimisi Koldun. Koldunism will get its own separate episode sometime in the future, but yeah, basically weird demon nature magic, something like this. So yeah, despite hating each other, Tremere anti-tribu and Zimisi Kolduns united to create a new artificial bloodline that was supposed to be used as basically cannon fodder and free soldiers for the Sabbat. And well, there are many artificial bloodlines, like I said, gargoyles, and Blood Brothers are in this similar vein to my favorite bloodline that are gargoyles, but they are different and even less than gargoyles. They're not kinda vampires in a way. They're not kinda kindreds or canites. They're weird. They're very, very weird. They kinda are kindred. They have the usual traits. They have fangs, they can use blood, they have disciplines, they burn in sunlight, they can get staked. So by these external features, they could be considered vampires like, me, like Tremere or Zimisi or whatever, Bruja, Gangrel, whatever. But they are not, in a way. Like I said, they are artificially created, like gargoyles, through a ritual. What ritual? It's up to debate because there were few. The original is now lost to time, and the one that remains isn't really the same as the original one. The one that we know of is called the Mirror of Blood ritual, and it's very not pleasant to do it. Not that I would know. So yeah. Now, why I'm saying they are not vampires? Well, they can't really embrace. They can't make more of themselves. At least most of them can't, but I will get to that. And this feature, was implemented intentionally by the creators, because when a blood brother is created, they are not created alone. The very idea behind them is to be one vampire in multiple bodies, in a way. So you get a few mortals or ghouls, or sometimes even other kindred. They undergo this ritual. Mostly they don't really want to undergo it because, yeah. And the result of this ritual is a circle of blood brothers. What is a circle? Well, it's a group of blood brothers created during one ritual that are connected to each other via a sort of a hive mind, a shared consciousness. The ritual makes it so that their bodies start to resemble each other. Maybe they will resemble one subject of the ritual, or maybe it will be a blend of everyone in this circle. So they look mostly the same. They have similar features, gender, kinda, sometimes. They can be different. They can even have different personalities sometimes, but they are kinda one person in multiple bodies. They're not the person they were before. None of these participants of the ritual is the same they used to be. They are something new, similarly to how gargoyles are made, not by the embrace, but by the ritual that makes gargoyles. The previous identity is most often erased and replaced by this shared hive mind. So this is a circle of blood brothers, a group connected via a hive mind, and they basically look like twins. A circle is some are small, like 3 at minimum, and some are bigger, up to 6 or 10 members. And they are mostly inseparable in more ways than one, but I will get to it. They prefer their own company to others, and they are fanatically loyal to their creators. So, like I said, they were made to be shock troops for the Sabbath. And for sometimes they were. They were strong, resilient, fanatically loyal. They didn't ask questions, and were mostly dumb. Even if most members of one circle are, not very intelligent, there can be one with brains, literally. So yeah, that's the general idea behind blood brothers. Not very intelligent, resilient and strong, connected, perfectly organized, and loyal. Perfect soldiers. So I said they can't embrace, because they can't most of the time. Their vitae, the blood is infertile, so they can't really embrace in the usual manner like most vampires. They can't just drink someone of their blood and feed them, and boom, a new blood brother is born. No, they are mostly created via a ritual. Like I said, one of the few that we know of, the original, the Mirror of Blood, on some other. But there were few special cases that could embrace, in a way. I wouldn't call it an embrace, because it's not really how it works, but kind of similar, but not really. Let me explain. So there are two special cases that I want to talk about before I move on to the other interesting things about blood brothers, like their weird disciplines. So there was one blood brother called Dr. Varona, and he was weird. He was a member of a Blood Brothers circle known as the Blessed Choir. And the rumor says that he's a big guy, not like muscular, but big, if you know what I mean. So the rumor says that he keeps his circle, his brothers, his blood siblings, inside of his body. And I will move on to that because that's part of their weird powers. So the rumor has it that he found a way to make more, to add new members to his circle. Through a very gruesome and horrifying process. He was basically trying to recreate the original ritual, but with few modifications that he could perform it. So he found kind of a way that worked on other kindred. The ritual material didn't have to be mortals or ghouls, but could be performed on kindred, other vampires. So he basically was taking a vampire, cutting off their limbs, and pumping them full of his own blood and sewing his own new limbs onto them to kind of overpower their blood with his own. And that kinda sometimes worked, so I heard. And new blood brother that looked like him and was absorbed into him was born. So that's one special case. We don't know what happened to that guy, but perhaps he's still somewhere hiding around. The second very interesting case are the Hungry Sisters, and excuse me for my pronunciation, Las Hermanas Hambrientas. I'm very sorry if I butchered it, because most likely I did. So they were a circle of blood brothers, or more appropriately, blood sisters, in a way. Gender isn't really relevant when it comes to blood brothers, to the bloodline, but they were female. So the main sister found a way to make more in a manner similar, even more similar to an actual embrace that was kinda also ritualistic in process. So it was like she was taking a mortal in this case, biting into them, and the mortal bit into her, and they spent like few nights, up to 2 weeks, perhaps even a month, exchanging blood in this manner. The sister was drinking, and the candidate for embrace was drinking from her. And this blood circulated until the mortal gradually started to resemble the main sister. And so sometimes it worked, not always, but sometimes a new blood sister that looked exactly like the one performing the ritualistic embrace was born, was created. So blood brothers can in a way procreate, but these are very rare and specific cases. Basically, we know of 2, maybe 3 cases like this. And like I said, the original ritual is lost to time. Now that the Tremere anti-tribu are gone, mostly, only few elder Tzimisce Kolduns really know how to perform the original rite. There were other variations of this ritual, like the Mirror of Blood, that is disgusting. I won't go into it, because it involves underage people. Yeah, let's not talk about a Mirror of Blood. So yeah, mostly they can embrace so they wouldn't create more of themselves. Is it counterproductive? Kinda, but also makes sense that the blood brothers are loyal to the Sabbath, their creators, but above all else they are loyal to their circle. So they could, in theory, rebel and just create a wave of themselves. And speaking about waves and themselves, they have few unique powers. They have obviously two pretty regular disciplines, perfectly fitted for a cannon fodder, potence and fortitude. So, no, they are cannon fodder, they fight a lot. So that makes sense. But they also have a unique discipline that is kinda related to vicissitude, called sanguineous. Yeah, it's like a lesser version of vicissitude and is tied to their condition of being connected together. So this discipline basically expands their connection and makes it more literal, if it wasn't already. This discipline basically, on lower levels, it can make one member of a circle heal another by spending blood. They can exchange limbs. So let's say I degrow my arm and another blood brother in my circle grows an arm for his abdomen. That's cool. They can also communicate telepathically and share mental capacities, like being immune to dominate even. And on the higher levels, they can even steal generations from members of their circle. So let's say we have a circle of 9th generation blood brothers. One blood brother with the appropriate level of sanguineous can use it. I think it's level 4. It's called the Walk of Cain, this power. And let's say he takes 3 generations. One from one brother, one from another, and one from another. So they, the one that gave their generation, are going up in generation. So from generation 9, they go to 10. So they become weaker. But this blood brother that used this power goes down 3 generations to generation 6. Their power increases. So that's pretty horrifying if we think about it. So a blood brother could, in theory, go down to 3rd generation or even 2nd. And that's weird. No, it didn't happen yet, I think, in the recorded kindred law, but it's kinda possible, maybe, perhaps, I think. And the 5th level of this power, the absolute mastery, because this discipline was designed for, blood brothers to be a weapon, basically, so they don't have elder level powers. So level 5 is kind of similar to the vicissitude power horrid form or the Zulo shape, in that the members of the circle transform into a monstrous being, but not by growing and becoming by themselves, but by merging together into one coagulated entity. Multiple mouths, multiple limbs, eyes, hearts. Their attributes fuse together. This is horrifying stuff, I'm telling you. So yeah, that's Blood Brothers for you. Weird, disgusting, and kinda interesting bloodline that is now mostly extinct in the modern Knights. I'm saying mostly because we don't know if, for example, Dr. Verona or the Hungry Sisters are still around. We don't know. But we know that at large, Sabbat stopped producing them. The rituals were abandoned, forgotten. These Zimisi Kolduns stopped caring, really, that knew the original ritual, so they no longer exist in a way. But the remnants were used by necronomists, the followers in the Sabbat of the Path of Death and Soul, and few others Sabbat sorcerers. to create a new monstrosity based on the principle of one mind in multiple bodies, one being in multiple places. These are known as the Fleshweld ghouls. So they are ghouls, obviously, and they are basically brothers, but they are not kindred. They are ghouls, basically, conditioned to kind of be the same person. They look the same. They are flesh crafted by vicissitude to look the same and to think the same by dominate, blood sorcery, sometimes even oblivion. So yeah, these fleshweld ghouls are more powerful than regular ghouls. They share single consciousness throughout multiple bodies. They know where other members of their circle or group are, and they, are coordinated very well. And they also have a very, very specific power that I actually talked a second ago, the power to fuse themselves. But unlike the actual blood brothers, this is the end game for them. They use it as a last resort, basically. They are perfectly capable of operating in multiple bodies. They have strong disciplines for ghouls. They can achieve like level 2 disciplines, mostly protein, but yeah. But when the situation requires it, they can meld together, coagulate as a single entity, become one. But they can't go back from this state, so they are basically stuck as a hulking monstrosity that's an obvious masquerade breach. So yeah, these are a thing now, and I think they're quite interesting. So yeah, the actual blood brothers are kind of extinct right now. We have these fleshweld ghouls and some other minor variations of this concept, but they are not really that interesting to talk about. And that's it for blood brothers and fleshweld ghouls. I talked about their lore. They were frankly modern bloodline, the blood brothers. Like 20th century, beginning of the 21st century. So there weren't really that old. There weren't any elders in this bloodline. And most of them, died during missions because they were, cannon fodder for the Sabbat. They weren't even considered true Sabbat by vampires in the Sabbat. They were just tools, weapons, not Canaanites, not vampires. Some deserved, proved themselves and deserved to be called true Sabbat. They were considered true members of the sect, but most were just, toys, weapons, tools, nothing more than a shield or a sword of Cain. That's that. And yeah, the Fleshweld ghouls are their direct kind of descendants created by a similar principle, but not that strong, still formidable, don't sleep on that, but not as frightening and disturbing as the actual bloodline of blood brothers. Are they extinct fully? We don't know, maybe, perhaps, most likely. But who knows what hides in the shadows of the modern nines? We don't know. But there are no blood brothers in this Chantry. There are no. Also, no Tremere anti-tribu are in this Chantry. None at all. I would know. I would know. Trust me on that. So yeah, thanks for watching. Give me some ideas for the next episode of Chantry Lectures. What do you want to learn about? What do you want me to talk about? And give me your opinions on blood brothers. Do you want them to return into the modern nights, or are you satisfied with the Fleshweld ghouls? And that's it for this lecture. Thank you for your attention, and see ya next time. in another lecture. Perhaps I will be back in my room in the Chantry upstairs, but now I'm in the basement, which is cool. I have a lot of cool books. I have a lamp. Nice. So yeah, see ya.